This is the new facelift of the Mercedes V-Klasse and the Mercedes Marco Polo. And here on Autogefuehl, we're going to take you on a tour on the exterior, different lines, on the new interior, some changes there, and of course of both concepts, the V-Klasse, the passenger van, and the Marco Polo, the travel van. Let's enjoy this together in full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go. We will start here with the front. You get optional LED headlamps, also with the daytime running light. And this one here is the new AMG line. The AMG line has been there before, but it now features a new front grille with this diamond pin grille, so moves more towards the normal passenger car design for sure. The Mercedes Star also gets, behind those fields here, there are some sensors hidden because it also features now optional and emergency braking assist. Only optional or included then in the ACC, the Adaptive Cruise Control package. Well, it's a little bit sad that they don't put it from standard equipment, but at least you can go for that optional now. Also one trend that those vans now get the technology from the normal passenger cars. We will soon take you on a tour also to the non-AMG lines. But this one here, of course, the sporty layout also with the stronger lower grille here and those contrasting bumpers, especially if you take it here in white. So basically there are three different lengths available for the V-Klasse. It's 4.89 meters, 5.14 meters or 5.37 meters, or that would be 192 inches, 202 inches or 211 inches. And this one here is the middle size, 4.14 meters or 202 inches. And basically the first two lengths, they have the same wheelbase. It's just that this one here, as this is the middle size, it's a little bit longer right here, so it's just right here, like this part. And then the third, the real long V-Klasse, that one has another longer part right here because that one then also has an increased wheelbase. The wheels, they come with 17 to 19 inch. Those ones here are also the AMG style rims in the biggest size. Of course, they look pretty massive for this vehicle here, and especially again in the dark style to the white contrast. All other of the vehicle is of course more form follows function. Upright windows, not to lose any space on the interior. We got the contrasting roof rails here as well. So the side profile has not changed that much. One assistance system to mention here that comes from standard equipment also before the facelift is the side wind assist. So if you have a lot of crosswinds and the car keeps stable for itself, because this whole area is of course very prone to wind forces, and then you get some help that can keep the car quite straight again. So which size would you actually go for? And by the way, the Marco Polo, we'll soon see, does also have this very exact length. All the cars we show you today are in the middle length, so to say. Also, one that is very thought after on the whole market for sure. The rear is characterized by this big glass panel and a lot of chrome use here, and also lower part. Why this big glass panel? Well, you can open this one here separately to put in and out smaller things, for example. There's also, separate cover here available. We will soon experience more of this loading capacity in all of the interior part. You can see here the V300D. This one is the new top engine available. Let's find out more about that. Next to the AMG line, the other lines are called Avant-Garde and Exclusive, with more elegance and less sportiness. But of course, considering it is a van, it already has somewhat a sporty styling for sure. Also, for example, with this symmetry line here right on the hood. I will soon also show you which new colors are available for this V-Klasse facelift. And by the way, some more addition to the drivetrains. all of those new diesel engines here, they're both available with rear-wheel drive standard and optional with all-wheel drive. And another look for you how this graphite grey looks from the rear perspective. Interesting also, I think, that those tail lamps have this LED signature as well that makes it in a more modern appearance. So yeah, a lot of things you can see here on the exterior and on the interior look quite, sleek and perfect. Then always the prices in the background, that makes you shiver a little bit. The V-Class facelift not only introduces some new wheel styles, but also new colors. They are, of course, overall more available, but this one here, Hyacinth Red Metallic, this one is a new color. Then the Selenite Gray Metallic, then a Steel Blue. You can see this one is not the one we see with the Marco Polo, this one is a matte one. And a Graphite Gray Metallic. So 3 new metallic tones, 1 new uni color. And now to my favorite for today, a van with hydraulic struts here for the engine compartment. Yay! So, engine-wise, those ones here are actually the big news, because again, the schematic that they want to move this van here closer to the normal passenger cars is continued by the engine choices. This is the 2-liter 4-cylinder diesel that is also used in the Mercedes E-Class with the SCR cleaning. And in the whole diesel discussion, this one here kind of stood out because in real life, exhaust fume test, this one here had really less particles than anything else that was tested. So indeed, if you talk about clean diesels, this one is probably the one that comes closest to it. This one here, as I said, first time being used then in the V-Class, updated, so from the whole engine lineup. Supposed to have less vibrations and also better insulate from the cabin than the diesels that have been used before. As I said, 2-liter of displacement, 4 cylinders. Comes so far then in 2 horsepower specs, either as a V250D with 190 horsepower, or then the new one, the V300D with 240 horsepower. Never been so strong so far. 500 Newton meters of torque maximum, 7.9 seconds acceleration to 100 kilometers or 62 miles. That's of course pretty strong, especially for this very segment. And both horsepower specs are also combined with the new 9G automatic transmission. That one also plays a role in the refinement of the whole drive and also supposed to give you more fuel savings. Let's see how that one plays out when we are able to drive the vehicle. Let's start with the interior of this AMG line. Let's check the door closing sound. Not too bad, but I've heard better as well. You see the door does not open too wide, but still, of course, it's a big entry. That's totally fine. Big inside the door pockets also for bigger bottles. And like with the Mercedes passenger cars, you can also change the seats from here. That comes quite handy when you're sitting. And have the door closed, seat heating, seat cooling is available. That of course just in the top trim. You can see the cockpit layout since the all-new generation came out. Is also in the passenger car style with a known steering wheel. The instruments, some digital display in the middle part, soon more details to that. You can get different decor elements. This one here, a carbon fiber style, but there's also black piano lacquer, there's wood available and brushed aluminum. You can soon also show some other variants of that. Then the seats, well, those ones here are also a top trim animal skin spec, and that shows that they don't have so much interest in sustainability all over the car yet. So this is one of their big news here, but big news would have been if they present more sustainable choices, of course. However, if you want to avoid animal skin material, there's also a fabric base available, which you can go for, and also then you don't need any seat climatization that much. So here again, another look at the steering wheel, and I would say I just take a hop inside, and that's of course really cool. It's so easy to get in. And you have an upright seating position, good view throughout this panoramic windshield. So this is a great travel position. And due to the windows being very much upright, you still, although you're driving a big vehicle, have a quite good overview of what's going on around you. Seating position, as I said, is upright and very comfortable. The seats also suit taller people, that's no problem. Although you can see it could be a little bit longer, but again, due to this upright seating position, you can always find a good position for any size. and I'm 1,86 m or 6'1", and that still leaves plenty of headroom right there. The steering wheel can be adjusted like this in reach and height, and indeed quality-wise, if you take a look at the materials here, for example, a nice leather red dashboard from this Artico man-made leather. This bright ceiling, I really like that. It brings so much light in the interior, not like in those all black interiors for sure. Also the display, or new design element, those turbine vents. This is also one new design feature for the facelift. So far only used in sports cars by Mercedes, now also here for the V-Class. And it's interesting how the how the function works. It feels like they would be flying on the inside. So all of the materials you see and feel and touch, even some soft touch here at the inside of the middle console. So for example, when you hit your knee here, that it doesn't hurt or so, is really premium, top notch. And that's also what this car is supposed to be doing different than the competitors. This is the interior overview. You can see those sensual lines. The design scheme here by Mercedes was called Sensual Purity because they're also overlapping some gaps right there. Here again you can see that also in the middle those new turbine vents have been installed. This is the main new design feature. Instruments, quite classic still. Left side speed, right side RPM in the middle part. You have the view, for example, for the digital speedometer or for the consumption. And you can also switch it around, for example, for radio or media info, or also some of the GPS info. Taking a closer look at this infotainment screen, the map view is actually quite nice and see also responsive. There is no touchscreen yet available, so you have to do it all with the central controller. You can connect your phone via Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. This system has not been updated, so it's not available. So you have to connect your phone via Bluetooth. And the menu structure is also quite complicated, but then when you reach those stuff, they actually work quite well. Also, the 360-degree camera cannot show you that at the moment because the car is not running. So if you know it from Mercedes passenger cars, you get along with it. But again, menu structure is old, no Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto, and it's not the new MBUX system. That one will be only introduced with the all-new generation of the V-Class, and that's not available right now and also not in the coming years. The climate unit is still manual. That's good also to do while driving. There's still a CD slot also if you want better audio quality and if you still have CDs and some hotkeys for the GPS, for example. Then there's lower area again with the turning and pressing knob, or you can also press here or swipe like this in the menu. Those ones here, those are the driving modes, and if you have the adaptive suspension, you can also change the stiffness of the adaptive suspension. There's one comfort standard suspension, there's a sport suspension, both with a fixed damping rate, and then optional the adaptive suspension as we have right here. You can also close and open the doors right here with this button for the right and the left one if you have both sliding doors. And overall, this is all quite well accessible as you can reach it very well from the drivers. So the rest of the lower middle console right there, we have two adaptive cup holders here in the front, like this. And then we have a middle armrest with a split opening, also with a leather red cover. And inside here, you have two more USB supplies. Well, two more. Those ones are the two USB supplies. But again, no connection to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And this one here is a cooling box. Also interesting. Speaking about cooling, you can also have some outside cooled and heated beverages, so not powered at the moment, but this can be cooled or heated both, and in two different sizes here also for a whole bottle. So now when you want to have a good show for the panoramic roofs, there are two shades that then open parallel if you have both panoramic roofs. Again, really impressive how that one looks. And the thing is, you can even open the front one. Here we go. So especially for the first rear passengers here, this can be a quite interesting experience for sure. This vehicle here is equipped with two electric doors. And you can see here, when you just use the handle, it opens like this, and then I'll go around the vehicle and do it from the other side. And also the driver in the front, as I showed you, the buttons can do that. But also when you sit here, you just use the handle, then you can close it. This would be the other alternative, press this button here. So different solutions to open and close the doors, and it's actually a quite easy solution. So here in the first row, for all over the vehicle, you can get those two single seats. The standard setup would be 2-2-2. But you can also get benches that go all the way through, and then of course you can carry around more passengers. This would be more the luxury setup with a single seat. You can see here, still space in front of my knees, also a lot of headroom here left. That's of course no question with this vehicle, and again you sit upright and very comfortable. There's also a new luxury seat setup option here available for this very vehicle. I will soon show you that with the very other vehicle. So you fold the seat like this, then I can also get easier into the rear position like this, and you can see even here enough legroom then, and this is of course then the advantage if you have a little bit more wheelbase in the middle length version, that you can still have some trunk then behind. You can fold up like this, also easy solution. You have a separate cup holder here, for example, too. 12-volt power supply. You can use this, for example, for an adapter then for USB supplies too. And also here in the rear, plenty of headroom, and they're basically as comfortable as the seats in front of me. Quite often you also find a setup where the front seats, for example, are turned around. You can do that, and the rear has a bench that goes all the way through. This one is a typical VIP shuttle option, for example. I showed you earlier how you can have this separate opening for the glass part. This one here also available all electric, the big hatch. And then you have also several options. For example, this one has, for the separate opening, this split part, and with some shopping bags hidden, you can fold them out. And you can also lift this one here up and then have, or just remove the whole stuff, and then you still have a loading compartment left here again in the middle length version. And thinking about rain, and also with a little thought to the Marco Polo version already, you can see with 1.86 m or 6'1", I can stand under this hatch. And what about child safety if for the electric tailgate? It's a little bit heavy, but I think it's still okay as for the sensitivity. Could be a little bit more sensitive, like with the E-Class sedan or something. E-Class Estate, but I think still does a good job. Another interior perspective, you can see the new deco element. This has those horizontal stripes, so that's something they invented also for this facelift. Yes, the changes on the interior in the front are minor. It's really more a little bit, beauty stuff here and there with the vents and also the new decor elements. And this vehicle is equipped with the new luxury seat option. First of all, it looks a little bit like an airplane seat or something, like with this whole cover right there. This is the standard setup now without any folded function. I will soon show you how that one plays out. First thing you will notice here, for example, are those cushions here. Really interesting. So this one here then is like a fabric microfiber. That's really cool for your head. And you also got some bolsters there for your feet. And I'll test it now here with the other seat. So this one then is better, for the blood flow when you, for example, sitting for a longer time. You can see those ones here are also slided backwards. So you can always vary the length of the seat with those sliding roof rails. Here that's very comfortable. And that's, when they make the headrest from fabric, why don't they put also the rest of the seat in fabric? Well, it is available in the base version, as I said. Well, and then you can see there's those controls here for the seat. So those ones here, the electric controls, and I'll just put on the ignition once again, so we also have some power for that. So there's seat cooling, you can see it here, seat cooling and seat heating, and that one is only running when the engine is running, but then there's also the massage function for the seat. That one is now also working with just the ignition turn, and you can see here, you can really see how that moves. So individual like dots, and then they give you a nice massage in the back right there. And then you can also change it right here from the back angle, and let's see how far that goes in the back overall. Ta-da, 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 ta-da. Yeah, it takes a while, of course, with the electric seat, but that goes actually quite far. And then there's also the clue of the seat, that you can fold out the lower area, the lower foot area, like this. Let's see how far that goes. And again, that's really like a business class in the plane for sure. And let's see, with this setup here, how I do fit on there. With my feet, it doesn't quite work right here. So I think you should be a little bit smaller for that. So that would be the sleeping position. I guess I would need to slide the seat a little bit. Is it all the way back? You can see there's more space here. You know, when you look at the roof rail here, so at the floor rail, you could move the seat a little bit more backward. Let's see, like this. This is an easy solution here with the manual. Here with this manual lever, like this, and then it also fits for me. So if we have some breaks at the shooting or something. No. Holger says no. Don't you want a break from shooting? No. Holger wants to keep shooting. Working. Holger wants to keep working, but well, Holger can keep working, but maybe I do some relaxing now. That would be quite cool. Yeah, so I think you can have some nice breaks here. The only thing is, like your feet are flying in the air now a little bit, of course, but they have some support here. So if you have some shorter legs, it will be like this. This is more comfortable. So indeed, this one here, again, some disadvantage if you have very, very long legs. Maybe you have to put, like a cooling box there, or maybe some pillows that your feet can also rest on something. Again, it's a little bit discrimination of tall people right here, but still, it's very comfortable, and I think a nice addition here to the luxury setup. If you think about this making your mobile office or something, and then sometimes you work here from the rear, and sometimes you just start sleeping. And now the Marco Polo in my favorite Thomas blue color, how we call it here in Autogefuehl when we have a bright blue color. This one here, the camper van, also with all the features the new facelift is offering. A standard V-Class starts at about 37,000 euros in Germany, and well, then you can easily get with a high luxury VIP version so on to about double the price, and that's also where the Marco Polo is situated. So if you think about, a family goes camping, yeah, that's a good thought, but it's also really, really expensive. The main feature that comes standard is this folded up roof, that you have more space on the interior, of course, and that you also have the possibility to sleep in the vehicle. Of course, the real exciting thing is on the inside. Just some notes on the exterior. You can also get an AMG line for that one, of course, and also those fancy wheels. You can see it here also in the dark style. Short look at the front cockpit. It is basically the same than in all V-Class variants, and here we also have the decor element with wood. If you would prefer that one, of course, all the other ones are also available for the Marco Polo. Now, the most exciting part of this review is the interior of the Marco Polo version. And that begins here with the floor, because this one here is the optional wooden floor. Looks very beautiful. Well, it's just a small layer, not exactly real wood, but of course it looks really cool. Then there's a standard also with the inbuilt kitchen, and I'll just invite you to come inside with me right here, because with this folded up roof I can also stand upright, and even Holger as cameraman today can stand upright then in here. So you can basically live in this car. Indeed, it is of course limited as we are not in a huge van, but you can see you can easily stand inside here with this folded up bed at the moment. We will also fold down the bed very soon. Let's take a look at this kitchenette. You have the water supply right here, and also, if you want to cook something, and of course those security glass you can put over it when you're driving. And it's also important that you can carry around stuff, also in a safe way. For example, all the cutlery here that will be stored quite safely here, or then just for more stuff you might need for all your food. This comes quite handy here. A lot more storage, because when you are traveling for a longer time, you surely want this one here. This one here is the sliding door. Here we go. So that works quite well. And of course, more interesting is that you got a table right here that can be folded up, because you might want to enjoy all your food. This one here is the table then, and then you can enjoy all the stuff you might be cooking right here. And when you sit here, you can change the angle of the back part of the seat and also the air pressure inside the seat, so how stiff the cushions are. This is also possible. Again, just an option. Hey, greetings from up here. So interesting is that we have an electric window right here. Oh, right over there, also with a shade. So this one is actually open at the moment, and then we can fold down this bed, and it has a length of about 2 meters. So that's 2 meters and 5 and 1/13 in width. So for 2 people, no problem, 200 kilograms maximum of weight. You can see here at the sides, you can also have those fabric windows, so to say, if you want some more air and some more light. And actually the mattress here is actually quite soft, even has some, I think, some memory foam in it. It's quite nice. And right on the sleeping level, there's also USB supply if you want to charge your smartphone at night or something. So I showed you how you can sleep up in the roof, but what about if you have some more people? Well, I removed the head restraints here off the bench, and I can move the bench forward right here, like this, and then I can actually move those back parts of the seats down, like this, all electric. So until this area is also completely flat then. So here we go. So, and then I just push it back again like that it hits, well, let's do it like this. So, and then you can see we have another area where you can maybe like put some more, put another mattress on or something like that. So basically you can then sleep with 4 people parallel. On the top part, by the way, you reach it via the front seats. You just step on those. And we have some more stuff here. This is, by the way, the opening of a cooling box. And we have a cupboard right here, even with a mirror. And here is even more storage space again. So quite interesting concept. You can see that every inch is being used. So, and we have another solution right here. Usually you put your luggage, your normal luggage, would you put on here, when you're driving. And then you can also get this one here folded up. Then there's another, no, there we go. No, like this. There's another camping table right here. You can unleash that. And some chairs, foldable chairs. You can take out the whole tray, of course, as well. Or you just go without the solution. That will also be possible. And another storage area right here. And what's also really crucial, when you're going to the camping ground or so, here at the other side, you can also then have the permanent electric support, for example, from the camping ground. This is for the water, yeah. And now to our conclusion for today with the Mercedes V-Class facelift. The main thing for me is for sure the new engine layout or new engine setup with this new diesel that is supposed to be quite fuel efficient if you also compare it to the passenger car variant. And this whole scheme that they want to move the V-Class even more to the passenger compartment, even closer as for technology and also as for the build quality and for the interior and so on. And this diesel also in the real life test was actually quite clean. So for long-term run, for big vehicles, this still seems to be a quite good solution. Exterior-wise, I think this one is still the design van. So in this very segment, it's the most design features, both on the exterior and on the interior for sure. You get some more decor elements here, for example, those turbine-style vents. This is also quite nicely done. However, a little bit disappointing that they didn't update the infotainment system, especially, I would like to have seen a combination of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in there. This is really disappointing. I can understand that they didn't put the MBUX in there because they need a different platform for that. That will be then delivered with the all-new Mercedes V-Class. But, some infotainment system updates would surely be necessary. As for the rest of the interior, a top-notch build quality. That is, of course, even more important in this segment to have a differentiation to the competitors. Interesting also with this new luxury seat setup. This is a good option for VIP shuttles or, for example, or if you use this one here as an executive car instead of a sedan. We've also seen the Marco Polo with all the updates that the rest of the V-Class is receiving. This one for sure, one of the dream campers there on the market where you can have, as much luxury on the given length that is possible. Well, so, I think it is definitely alongside with the T6 and its versions top of the segment. But then again, the price. It's such an expensive vehicle. This is actually the biggest drawback of this V-Class. And of course, this won't change with the facelift. So, what is your opinion on the new V-Class facelift here? Different variants we've shown you today. Which one would you actually go for? Which length? Would you go for a normal V-Class, VIP variant, or maybe also the Marco Polo? And the Vito, the commercial version of this vehicle, is already available as an e-Vito, as an electric version. That one is still to come for the V-Class. We'll see a concept of that in Geneva Motor Show. We'll deliver that to you as well. And then we have to wait until this becomes reality. But it's definitely not in 2019, maybe in 2020, but probably only in 2021 or something like that. So, looking forward to your comments, and also tune in to the next Autogefuehl episode, please.